Hello.
Oh, hello there.
I feel like I always start the podcast with hello.
You do. You have to.
How's it going?
It is going very well. It is good.
And good, good. Good. I'm immediately ADHD. I immediately got distracted by the clouds. I was like, huh, maybe it's scary.
Is it a
Shiny
sign?
objects. This is perfect actually for the podcast episode though, because we're talking about how to get people to where they need to go.
Yeah, so we're continuing on because May is our theme of community building. And
Yes.
continuing from building your foundations on this week, we are talking about how we're going to get people there. So that is getting them from A to B to C, getting them from one spot to the other. How do you get them there? Because I know I've had people ask me this, and I can remember at points in my life trying to move people from one spot to the other. And inevitably, you find yourself staring at your computer, your phone, going,
Yeah.
how do I do this?
Well, it's like a lot of us have several different platforms, right? We have different socials, we have our newsletter, we might have Patreons, we might have reader groups, we might have all these different things, and we're trying to get everyone everywhere, right? Like we're trying to and the way I kind of feel about it is I try and offer everyone like the exact level of engagement they're looking for. So like wherever they want to meet me at, if they only want to hear from me once a month, my newsletter is like the best place to be. If they want to hear from me every day, like my Patreon Discord community is like the place to be. If they want, like it's like they have something for just like every level of engagement that they're looking for. But one of the things we forget to do a lot is tell people that these
Yes.
other communities exist. And I feel like on, like Instagram and TikTok, for example, we can, I try to have at least once a month where I'm telling people about something that's coming up in my newsletter or something that's coming out on Patreon. These different places, because for a long time I had these like communities just existing and I wasn't telling anyone of
Yeah.
like I would just was like, oh yeah, I do, I have a Patreon. And I just forget to like mention it. So actively like having things in your social media strategy to mention these other platforms and these other spaces for people, like I feel like that's the first step for getting people from point A to point B, is remembering to mention it, like at
Yes.
least once a month, like semi frequently enough that people after a while know that these things exist. And obviously have them in your link tree as well, in your link in bio, so that people can easily get to them if they're looking through that. So like making it as easy for them as possible to find these other spaces, I feel like is the first step, making sure you're talking about it and making sure they can find them. But then like the next level to that is all of the goodies, right? Like all of the freebies, all the, as Tammy Lebrack from Newsletter Ninja calls them, the cookies, you
Yes. Leading them
know,
with the cookies.
yeah, all of the like, because you have some like freebies and things that you give away for people, eh?
Yeah, I think I've got two novellas that are linked. I have a Christmas one that I only share and during the Christmas season to get people into. Then that actually just started this past year. And then I took one of my old books and made that a freebie. And that is one for newsletters to get people in on. So you sign up for my newsletter, you get a book, you get a novella that was extended out. It was actually written to go in a box set that it was a part of, and then it's now a freebie. But yeah, I love doing that. And just trying to find other ways, different ways to give presents. Like with my newsletter, I'll give them stuff constantly into that community because I give them a free book all the time that I give to them from different people. It's not even mine. I look for other people's free books in my genre, and they don't know that I'm giving them promotion every week, but I'm giving that to my newsletter subscribers. But I'll also actually, I don't make them. Sabrina, our shared PA, does. She's made some really great screensavers that I've given to people at Christmas time that they can download with book covers on them and give as presents. But it's all, you've got to be on the newsletter list. Only the newsletter list gets certain things. If you're
Yes.
on Instagram, you don't get those things because you're not
Yeah.
on my newsletter. But my Instagram people get something else. But yeah, it's that But I tell the Instagram people, don't forget, I've got a newsletter, sign up here. It's like that never ending cookie to bring somebody somewhere.
That is such an important point, is that wherever like your reader journey goes, it never ends, you know? It's like at the end of your reader magnet, it has a link to your Patreon. In your Patreon, it has a link to your shop. In your shop, it has a link to your newsletter. And it's just
Yeah.
like, it just, there's always somewhere else you can
Circle of
go.
life.
Your journey never ends. There's always something more that you can offer people, you know? But I
Yes.
think a lot of us have freebies that we like have to give away for like people to sign up to our newsletter, or like in my Patreon, I have character art that comes out every quarter, you know, of different, like my patrons vote on the characters they want to see scenes of. But like if we don't tell anyone outside of those spaces about it, then then they never know to come join, you know?
Yes.
So like not only should you have like a really easy way to sign up to your newsletter and your link in your bio or at the end of your book or places like that, but also like creating content on socials every once in a while to let people know about it and finding ways of,
100%.
you know, so it's like if there's a current trend, if there's like a trending sound, if there's like a cool like hashtag or challenge that's going on, like how can you make that about like, oh, I have a character that does this in my free novella that you can read for free when you sign up to my newsletter, you know,
Yep.
that sort of thing. And I think a lot of us forget to do that. We're like, we have these freebies out there and people will just find them and come into our ecosystems. And you have to kind of like keep putting it out there, keep offering it to people and like making sure that they know. And then finding lots of different ways. So it might not just be freebies, it might be like cover reveals or sneak peeks or like first access to things or exclusive merch, you know, like
Yes.
uh, this group all gets like special t-shirts, or like we do like in my Discord we do like watch parties, and we do like special like bingo card giveaways around like launches and stuff, you know, so we do like games and prizes and things that are like very specific to that group.
Yes.
And so there's like lots of cool things going on. And so, you know, at first it starts off, usually the author's the one telling everyone that these are cool things that are going on in this group. So come join us. And eventually the goal, I think, for all of us is to get to the point where our readers start doing that for us, where they start saying, like, you can, you know, I just read these novellas for free when I signed up to AK's newsletter, or like, we're doing this really fun thing in her Discord group, you know? And
Yeah, so
that's kind
getting
of like the
them
goal too, is incentivizing them to go out and kind of be the ones telling other people. Yeah.
exactly getting them to be the ones to do it, I think is just it's helpful in so many ways, and I appreciate it when I see that happening, because it's the same thing as when we're doing videos or posting and we're telling people how to talk about our books, and you start to see that language and verbiage get reflected in the reviews or in the posts and the shares that our readers are doing. It is the same thing that when we're putting something out there and then they're saying like, hey, this author Ann Kemp is going to be at this thing, or AK Mulford is doing this, so in here, and you see them sharing that, that's when it's like you're tapping into something, and then you just have to keep, like, you've found the pulse, now you just got to keep applying some pressure.
Yeah. And keep encouraging that sharing, and keep, you know, like rewarding people who are sharing, you know.
Yeah.
Like in my newsletter, I have like my readers are called mountaineers. And this is one thing we'll talk in the advanced tactics too, but like having like reader names and branding around your reader groups and stuff can really help like feel like that sense of community and belonging. But like I have like a section that's Mountaineers in the Wild, and it's like three of our favorite social media posts of different mountaineers on socials. And so I'll share, you know, with their permission, they use a specific hashtag to have it be shared in my newsletter. And we pick like three of our favorites, and they all win like little goodies and prizes if their post gets shared that month, you know?
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah. And so it just kind of like, it encourages them to share about stuff like my books on their different socials. And also it's my way of being able to like directly like thank them and give back to them, and hopefully also get their socials seen by more people too. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like this like beautiful like synergy between the two of us
Yeah.
of like me being
Reciprocal.
grateful for them being grateful for me, and we just kind of like work together through that. So it's that kind of thing of encouraging other people to be letting people know about your reader groups and your different places. Yeah.
Yeah. And really, I think sitting down and looking at that reader journey, the experience that they get, comes from like even download one of your own books to Kindle, get one of your own books and just see what the journey is that somebody goes on, and even like take a look at your paperbacks as well. What does that experience look like? Because both are going to be different, because you've got clickable links when you're in Kindle, so you're able to give a little bit more in there than you would like, how are you going to do it in print? You've got to word it in just the right way to get folks to put that paperback down and go put your website in to go sign up to your newsletter, whatever that is. But I
Or
think
even add a QR code.
yeah, or QR codes are wonderful to do now because you can take people to all kinds of places having a QR code. But yeah, I think taking a look and making sure that that journey for you is what you expect it to be, because you never know. Also, by doing that, you kind of end up auditing your back end matter and your front end matter, and you get to take a look at what the reader's seeing. And there might be something that sold, a link that's broken. I'm speaking from experience here. You go back in, you realize like, oh, I missed a huge opportunity. Like, don't be that person. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Check
Always
yourself
give them
out.
the opportunity for more. Like, and it's okay if they don't, but always offer,
Yeah, bonus scene. I think that's one of the things, like at the end of my book, this latest one, I have my page where I do everything, but right at the end, I'll do quick like epilogue leading for the next book, a little tease, but then like, do you want more bonus scenes from the story? Here's where you can get those on Patreon. Do you want this? Here's where you go for that. Do you want this? Stay in touch about the next release. I'll be talking about in my newsletter because I'm in pre-order jail on Amazon. So there is no pre-order link for me till next
right.
year.
Oh gosh.
Which makes it even more important for me to make sure anything I do, I'm leading people into my universe, my ecosphere, because I can't just slap a pre-order link at them now. I need to keep them around so they know when I start singing loudly about the next release.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go walk your own path and see if you're happy with that experience. Make sure it leads you somewhere.
And make sure to go update it too. I feel like a lot of people listening, like we all probably need to
Or
go
like,
update all of our
that.
I know it's the bane of so many of our existences, but we just got to do it.
Yes. Oh, you have to. Like even
Yeah.
when we started talking about some of the stuff, I always go in my head, I'm like, have I done that lately? Is
Yeah.
that done?
But yeah, no, like that's coming up with new and creative ways to get people to come into your ecosystem, and also to get the ones who are there to encourage more people to come too.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that's us for the day. I think
Yeah,
that's
I think
our,
next week we're going to talk more about like kind of the advanced tips and tricks of like generating larger communities. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. We're going to get into some more advanced tactics, and that would be a little bit more of like a packed episode because we've got a couple of different layers we're going to be unpeeling in that one. So
Yay.
thanks for joining us today, everybody.
All right. Talk to you next time.